Welcome to Gadget First. Today we're reviewing the new Motorola Xoom. It's the first tablet PC from Motorola and one of the first tablets to use Android free. So let's delve straight into the external features. On the front we have a 10.1 inch 1280 by 800 resolution touchscreen. At the top here we have a 2 megapixel front facing camera, and other than that there's just the branding on the front. And on the back we have a metal finish here, as well as a more rubberized finish here, the 5 megapixel autofocus camera with dual LED flash, and stereo of speakers here and here, and also the unlock button. We have the volume rocker here on the left hand side. This side is completely free of anything, and on the top we have a headphone port and the micro SD slot. On the bottom we have a range of connectivity options such as micro USB, mini HDMI, and this is the dock connector and the power supply. So let's look at the tech specs of the Motorola Xoom. It runs the new Android platform, which is Android free, which is optimised for tablets. It's also known as Honeycomb. We've already mentioned the two cameras, 5 megapixel and 2 megapixels. With dual LED flash. It has a 24 watt hour battery, which can apparently last up to 10 hours, which we'll delve into more later in the review. And it has Wi-Fi A, B, G and N, so you'll get faster Wi-Fi than most phones nowadays. And an NVIDIA dual-core Tegra chip running at 1 GHz, so this thing will run games really fast and should be very, very snappy. So it has 1 GB of RAM as well, which means you should be able to run all your applications open, and it also has 32 GB of onboard storage space, which means you can store pretty much all your music and pictures and videos on your tablet. And the screen resolution is WXGA, which is 1280 by 800, which calculates to 150 pixels per inch, which is pretty good for a tablet. Okay, so let's look at what happens when you unlock your Xoom. So here we have the lock button, which is a bit different from most lock screens that you might see. It has this rippling effect, and then you drag this over here to unlock the device. It's a bit laggy at the moment, although there should be an update in Android 3.1 which will enable hardware acceleration, which should make everything a lot smoother. So the first thing you probably realise about the Motorola Xoom is where the hell are the home key, the back key and the search keys and the menu keys, and basically they've done away with them. Now they're on the screen rather than having physical buttons or touchscreen buttons. They're now here. We have the back button here, the home button here and the menu button here. However, this multitasking key, it's not scrollable, which is a bit disappointing. But other than that, it's a really good change. And down here, you can access your notifications if you have any, and also quickly get into your settings, which is really nice. And it's a lot quicker than a lot of other devices at getting to your settings that you want to change the most. So the general theme of things has changed, as it does with a lot of Android iterations. We've got this nice clock here, which we can move around. I'll just leave it in the same place now. And some of the icons have changed, such as the camera icon, the browser icon. And instead of having a launcher button down at the middle, you have the launcher here, which brings up your apps. And say I want to put an app onto my home screen, I'll choose an app. I'll put Doodle Jump on my home screen, and then I'll just plop it there. And there it is. I don't really want that there, so I'll just kill it. So other than that, there's not much difference. However, instead of tapping and holding like you used to add widgets or change your wallpaper, I'll just show you again. You just tap it up here, this little plus, and then you can change your wallpaper, you can go into different settings, app shortcuts and widgets, where you can scroll along and find all the widgets, and then you can just I'll just go for my bookmarks widget, put it on this screen, and then tap on that screen, and it shows me my bookmarks on my home screen. There's a lot of new widgets as well, and they're all optimized for the tablet format, so it really is very nice. Another thing they've changed is that instead of having your Google search bar as a widget, it's now at the top left corner, and I can tap here and I can type in my search, or obviously I can just tap the microphone icon, which will allow me to say what I want. I'll just say something like Microsoft. There you go, Microsoft. And you go, it's working ultra quick. It's a bit funny that they have Microsoft in their dictionary considering they're Google. Right, so let's go through what Google has done to make this a more tablet friendly operating system. So we've seen the new home screen, and now to see the new Google apps. First off, I will show you the browser. It's completely different. It's a lot like Chrome now, which is very, very nice. I'll just close that tab, go into a new tab. So I can do multiple things at once. If I go on to, it's just like using my Chrome browser at home. It's amazing. So if I go on to Gadget First .co.uk here, there you go. Loads very quick. I don't think there's actually a mobile device that can load websites faster than this. It's amazing. I can just open another tab by tapping the plus, and I can just switch between them by doing that. To show you what it would be like on a competitor, I'll show you what it's like on the iPad 2, where it's not bad, but it's quite a bit slower. So I'm on my NatWest here, and to change between my windows as they are on here, see on this I would just tap between tabs, whereas on the iPad 2 I have to go up to here and then go like that onto different windows, and although it doesn't seem much, it does slow you down slightly, and this just makes much more sense. So let's quickly look at some of the other tablet or optimized apps. Firstly, I'll look at the market. It's completely changed as well. It makes so much more sense, because we've seen some cheaper tablets running like older versions of Android, which is just literally a phone operating system shoved onto a bigger screen, whereas this really is just for tablets. Really, you get the separate scrolling windows here. You can scroll along here to see the best apps. I can search here, I can go on my apps to see what apps I've installed, and I always get this here, which makes a lot more sense. So generally it is just a lot more efficient really. And if I just go into my apps drawer and find my mail app, where are your email? And once again I have two separate scrolling windows. I have this here and my actual email here, so that also makes more sense. And if I find an email, here we go. So I can scroll independently from my email list. I can also zoom in, which is also very smooth. And altogether it just makes a lot more sense, and it's more efficient. So let's look on to the game performance now. This particular tablet has an NVIDIA Tegra processor, which combines the processor and the graphics, the GPU, together on one chip. So basically, and this is a very powerful graphics chip as well, so you should be able to play all games like really smoothly. So if I go into my apps here, and I've got a game called Gorilla Bomb, which is optimized for tablets and takes advantage of the NVIDIA Tegra chip. So if I go on single player, I'll just go back and load my game. This is the light version. It's a really good game actually. The graphics are very, very impressive. And as you can see, it's running at a perfectly playable frame rate. It seems really, really smooth. And I'm dead. So as you can see, the gameplay is really smooth, and overall this is a brilliant tablet. Is it better? Okay, so now we're going to look at the camera apps. So here's my lovely tidy room, and as you can see, it's a bit different from the standard Android camera app. We have the modes you can use down here, like the settings. So here we have flash, we have the white balance, the colour effects, the scene mode, and more settings for like where to store photos, the autofocus mode, exposure, and the quality. And if we tap this button here, it shall move to the front camera, which is actually really good quality for a front camera, and it's really impressive. And here we can swap between camcorder mode and camera mode. So here we'll just turn off this mode, take a picture, there we go, and in camcorder mode we can record HD video. So that is really good. And we've also got the zoom here, but
when you're in camera mode.
Oh yeah, I need to be in camera mode, sorry about that. There we go. It's digital zoom, so you do lose a little bit of quality, but on the whole it's really not that bad. As you can see, if I autofocus now, that's pretty good for digital zoom, and it's probably good enough for zooming into things that aren't too far away. So we really like the cameras on this, and compared to Apple's offering of the iPad 2, which has the most terrible cameras we've ever reviewed, it's really, really nice. So to conclude the Zoom, it's a very capable tablet, and it's very, very powerful, and the Android free operating system really does let it shine. It's amazing, and the build quality, although it might not be quite as good as the iPad 2, it's nothing to sniff at, and it's got a good weight behind it, which we actually prefer to the iPad 2, as it's slightly more heavy and slightly more thick, so it's more to hold on to really. So we really like it, and we're going to give it an 8 out of 10. So thanks for watching Gadget First. We'll have a comparison between the Zoom, the original iPad, and the iPad 2 coming out.